If you are like me, you are tired of hearing about the Ray Rice story. But what sickens me is how mainstream media is covering this story, ESPN in particular. They interviewed ESPN-W columnist Kate Fagan. I can only assume the W is for whining. Anyhow, some mangina interviewed Fagan and did not question any of her statements. He just asked how she felt. A total fluff piece, giving her a soapbox to spout her ideology. She goes on to say that she feels domestic violence is a black-white issue and that there is no grey area. She feels fans who wore Ray Rice jerseys at a recent game basically condone domestic violence. Did she consider that there might be a portion of Ray's fans who support him in light of him being thrown under the bus? Should a player be potentially banned for life for an incident that the couple involved have obviously worked through? After all, they did get married a few months after the incident. What is really happening here is the femi-fascists are using this event to further promote their radical ideas and their war on boys, further and further into the mainstream. They are not even hiding it now. In the interview, Kate Fagan openly wants the reprogramming of boys, shake down the wealthy NFL to fund feminists groups, and gain access to school children. She wants to be proactive on domestic violence by getting to the grassroots of our culture. She goes on to equate that domestic violence is born through our culture of raising men to not be like women, and feels that the word sissy, and the phrase throws like a girl demeans women, and that these are all contributing factors. Typical feminist claptrap of trying to ban words, which is nothing more than trying to control the language, which in turn controls your thoughts. She wants to get into the school systems and what she calls the younger spaces and really reprogramming how we raise men. I would ask Kate, isn't this what fascists do? This proposed program sounds to me like a Hitler Youth program, while using money through a shakedown to fund the state-sponsored femi-fascists. Why on earth do women like Kate get airtime? Why doesn't anyone question the huge gaps in logic? It is the tired cliché from feminists over and over again, men bad, women good. We have all seen the videos of the Ray Rice incident. But if you look closely and take off your ideological glasses, you will see that his future wife hit him twice before he even touched her. This does not excuse knocking your fiancé, but it highlights how female-on-male violence doesn't even get a mention. It's as if violence against men didn't exist at all. Meanwhile, anyone with half a brainstem can go onto Google and find several recent studies that show that violence against one's partner is pretty much split 50-50 as to which gender instigates the violence. In Kate's utopia, we would have all the young boys indoctrinated, and become passive little manginas, so that violent women can then freely abuse any man they see fit without worrying about repercussions. I guess you can say we are already partly there. I didn't read anything about Ray Rice, his wife, getting any reprimands at work for striking her husband. I guess had the situation been the couple verbally fighting in an elevator followed by the wife stabbing the husband, we'd need the NFL to fund the feminists access to the school system so they could train all girls in knife fighting. Femi-fascists like this are already programming our sons as we speak. Zero-tolerance policies that suspended a boy for nibbling a gun out of a piece of bread. Suspending a boy in kindergarten for kissing his girlfriend's hand in class. Eliminating recess for grade schoolers, which helped burn off energy. Reading lists that ignore boys' need for adventure like pirates or soldiers. Renaming games like Tug of War into Tug of Peace. Perhaps gender would be ultimately erased. You are no longer a boy. Just a defective girl. This would probably satisfy Kate Fagan just fine. After all, she is a lesbian, so there isn't much love for men to begin with. I have to wonder if Kate was involved in a domestic violence against her partner, if she would voluntarily give up her job at ESPN. If the interviewer was worth half his salt, he would have asked her opinion about the fact that domestic violence rates are higher in same-sex relationships than in those blasé heterosexual relationships. At the end of the day, these feminist ideas are always based on daddy government making things right. Does anyone in their right mind seriously want the government involved in teaching our children how to act and behave, when they cannot even come up with a budget, let alone spend within a budget? And what is the preoccupation with feminists invading male spaces? Is the shorter-term goal to remove any activity in society that is not central to a woman's needs? Are rule changes in the NFL next? Will it become so watered down that even the occasional fan like myself will no longer watch games at all? I was curious to see how the rate of arrests in the NFL compared to the general population. A quick Google search came up with 2 recent studies that showed that overall the rate of arrests of NFL players is lower than the general population. One study found that overall, arrest rates in the NFL are only 13% of those for the general public among men aged 25 to 30. Another study also found the arrest rates lower, and in every category of crime including DUI, assault, drug-related, gun-related, sex offenses, theft, prostitution, burglary, murder, fraud and domestic violence. This Ray Rice incident is not the crisis that it is made out to be. The media is utterly failing in their job. Idiots like James Brown act like they are trying to get more female fans by repeating a man should never hit a woman. Hey James, how about changing that to one person should never hit another? Are we giving girls the message that it's okay to hit a guy? As always, even though the feminists and the leftist media are screeching about this event, they are ignoring someone at the center of this incident. The victim herself. I will leave you with her own words. I woke up this morning feeling like I had a horrible nightmare. No one knows the pain that the media and unwanted options from the public has caused my family. To make us relive a moment in our lives that we regret every day is a horrible thing. To take something away from the man I love that he has worked his ass off for all his life just to gain ratings is horrific. This is our life. If your intentions were to hurt us, embarrass us, make us feel alone, take all happiness away, you've succeeded on so many levels. End of quote. If you enjoyed this video, please comment, rate and subscribe. Thank you. This is Canadian MGTOW. Signing off. Save yourself. Go MGTOW.